first thing we need to do is open up Microsoft Excel. So go to the Start menu, Programs, Microsoft Office, and Microsoft Excel. Once it opens, you're going to spend the next few minutes making yours look just like mine. The first thing I want to point out to you is that down at the bottom, we have different tabs. I have a tab for flights, a tab for hotels, and a tab for totals. Yours probably say Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and Sheet 3. If you right-click on this tab, you can rename. So go ahead and make a tab for flights, hotels, and totals, like mine. Now, one by one, you're going to create these spreadsheets to look just like mine looks. So what I want you to do right now is pause the video with this on the screen and create the flights. Next, create this one for hotels. And finally, create this one for totals. Now we need to go and actually get the information that will go into the spreadsheet. We're going to use a website called Kayak.com. Kayak lets us search for flights, hotels, rental cars, all kinds of things. We're going to start off with our flights. A round-trip flight would mean we were going one place and then coming back here. A one-way would be just going to that place and not having airfare back. What we're going to choose, though, is multi-city, so we're stopping at several places on our vacation. Of course, we're starting in Baltimore, Maryland. And you're going to go ahead and put your first city in here. As an example, I'll use Rome, Italy. But whatever your first city is, that's what you should put in here. We're going to plan this trip for November. So we're going to leave November 1st. When I come down here to the next one, it's automatically going to put Rome, Italy in there because we'll be leaving from Rome, Italy to go to our next city. As an example, I'll use Paris, France. Once again, you should put your own second city into that box. And we're going to assume that we stayed in Rome for a week, so we'll be leaving on the 8th of November. Okay. Once again, it'll put Paris in there automatically. And I'll choose a third city, Berlin. After a week, we'll be leaving on the 15th. And of course, we actually need one more flight to go from Berlin back to Baltimore. And that flight will leave the 22nd. Now we can come down here and press search. And Kayak will go out and find the best deal for us to go to all those places. And so Kayak has found us the best possible deal for $1,518. That's actually pretty amazing for 4 flights. So we need to plug this information into our spreadsheet, but first let's look at what it actually means. On the left-hand side here, we're finding out which airlines each of these flights is with. So Continental, Lufthansa are different airlines. For the last flight, it actually takes us more than one airline to get back to Baltimore. Now you see each leg of the trip here. We're starting at BWI, which is Baltimore Washington International Airport. And we're going to FCO, which must be the airport in Rome. Then we go from the airport in Rome to the CDG, which I think is France de Gaulle Airport in Paris. Then we go from Paris to TXL, which is in Berlin. And then finally from Berlin back to Baltimore. Okay, right here it asks us how many stops we have to make. So we're not going straight from Baltimore to Italy. We have to make one stop somewhere. And altogether, that's going to take us 11 hours and 55 minutes. So we go back to our spreadsheet. We'll see that like me cutting and pasting that address, so I might actually have to type it myself. No problem. It is on the Via Cicerona, which is a street. Looks like the address is 39. And that is looks like the zip code is 00193, Rome, Italy. 00193, Rome, Italy. Now you're going to see all that did not fit in my box. I'm going to use this button up here called Word Wrap, or Wrap Text, and it will fit it all in there for me. Price per night is $183. We're staying for 6 nights, so I'm going to have Excel figure this out for me. I am going to say equals price per night times the number of nights. Press enter, and I find out that we'll be spending $1,098 to stay in Rome. You'll do that for each of your 3 places. One thing I've forgotten to do was to have a box down here for the total for hotels, so I've added that box. You should do the same. And I'm going to have it calculate this for me automatically. I've actually put in just some fake hotels so I can move along quickly and made up some numbers, but you'll of course go and actually find real hotels and real figures. So in this box, I'll start off with equals as always. I'm going to say this plus this plus this. And I'm going to press enter. And that'll be my total for hotels during my trip. And now all that's left is to figure out the grand totals for everything. So right here I have flight total. I don't actually have to go back and memorize $2,100. Souvenirs, I might want to spend about $500 on souvenirs, do some shopping while I'm away. And for this, I would want to make sure that I had at least $1,000 emergency money in case something went wrong. So now I need to figure out my grand total for everything. So I'll click in here, equals, and I'm going to do the sum function, so SUM, parenthesis, and I'm just going to come and highlight all of these boxes and press enter. And you'll see our grand total for this trip is almost $10,000. The final step, I'm going to highlight all of these. I'm going to insert, I'm going to do a pie chart. And this, you'll see, will show us where our money is going. Most of our money, it ends up, is for the hotels. And then we can see the breakdown of each individual. If we want, we can click on, turn on the actual percentage to see what we're actually spending on what. I'm going to change the chart title to Travel Budget. And there, we've created a travel budget for our grand trip.